Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Rebel Inc. Let's Play. This is Northstar. I hope you folks are well, taking care of each other, kind to yourselves. Now we are here doing casual campaign for the Oil Wilson achievement, and honestly, it's the best policy achievement too. I've grabbed media development, media campaign, and preemptive strikes. I stabilize stuff faster, up higher rep, and the start insurgency is delayed. Insurgents, meanwhile, prevent me from basically staying coalition soldiers most of the time, and if my soldiers are flee, they get extra recruitment. We're here to spread the supposed freedom. Oh, wait. Progress 4 or 5, so apparently I don't have to stabilize every zone. I beat one of these and I win. Dark Range is a tough map, so I'll still do Surrey Lane. Anyways, to spread the supposed freedom of Western capitalism and neoliberal democracy to countries that did not want it. There's always going to be some of the populace that will read it, and people can be won over with essentially the bribery of rebuilding the country after it was destroyed. People have relatively short memory and forget who destroyed their country in the first place, bombed it all to smithereens. But the freedom to be part of a global empire that commits genocide all around the world, because the U.S. is done the Indonesian genocide, the Korean War was basically genocide, the Bangladeshi genocide was supported by the United States, the East Timor genocide was covered up by the United States, the first Congo genocide, the second Congo genocide, well, not the very first was the 1800s, but the first one of the 20th century, and then the second one of the 20th century. There's been 3 genocides in the Congo in its history. 3 major ones. The second one is finally come. Well, second of the 20th century is finally come to end because of a Trump deal. Peace deal. I said Trump deal. Well, it was a Trump deal. Peace deal of all people. Donald Trump negotiated because he spits in the face of the things the establishment has been doing, and while he's generally a very bad person, I do not like him. In this case, he was able to negotiate a peace deal that might bring an end to a genocide that the U.S. was actually backing. It was not directly caused by the U.S., but it was more directly caused by the British, who were using the Rwandans as a proxy to commit genocide. But America, State Department, and our CIA were backing up the British in doing this, providing them, various types of logistical support and information, espionage support kind of stuff. Definitely don't want the war in this map. Military tradition. Could do tank commander, but he's kind of a meme joke. And tanks still suck a lot of this map. Smoker can already train stuff incredibly fast. Banker. Economist. Do it the economist, that's for sure. And she does benefit from all the other regions being stabilize to inject money partway through what would normally be a year that You know what? I like the smuggler. Probably quicker, so I'll do him even if he's not the best choice because it will lead to a faster campaign. But yeah, this game is kind of inspired by obviously the insurgencies in Iraq and Afghanistan. Afghanistan, well, invading it, it was known that it wasn't going to lead to the capture of Osama, that, he would just flee the country, and that's exactly what he did. End up being captured in Pakistan. People say, oh, well, intelligence was gathered in Afghanistan. Well, a small team of special forces could have gone and gathered intel. The war is really about control of rare earth minerals under Afghanistan, and the U.S. lost, and it greatly accelerated the decline of the U.S. empire, because Afghanistan is the graveyard of empires. In fact, if the U.S. had not invaded Afghanistan, the U.S. empire might not be in collapse now. U.S. made the mistake that so many empires made before and invaded Afghanistan, and we fucked ourselves. And Iraq, well, it was about the oil. They were not behind 9/11. Saudi Arabia was, but not Iraq. It was about the oil, and it was about the fact that they were opposed to Israel, and the U.S. will do anything for that country. Anything. And so, U.S. leadership, rather, because a lot of ordinary Americans are getting their heads beat in by police for daring to protest. Which brings me to how it's not really freedom we have. Because you're not free to protest what the leaders do, and the leaders don't give a shit what ordinary people want. In the United States, that's why all the urban zones are starved controlled by insurgents. Lovely. This is a rural area. I could stabilize it quick. It does border mounds, which often needs supporting. Yeah, it's why, for instance, U.S. welfare systems are so incredibly underfunded. Just something that is fucking me. I'm disabled on COVID, as I'm sure many of you know. And, boom. Ton of stuff around. Succession, drive corruption, increased income, smuggler. Stuff like Section 8 housing lists being insanely long. Not that long ago, they were like 4, 5, 6 years now. Now, many states have 9-year, 10-year, 15-year, 16-year waiting lists. I'm not going to say which it is where I am, but I'm going to say it wouldn't be far from the number 10. Maybe quite a bit greater than that. Maybe not much less, but it's not drastically less than, I'll say that. So it's an insanely long, unethically long waiting list because the program is not adequately funded. So I get out of disabled. I'm on the work. I finally leave abusive housing situation. It's become completely untenable as a housing situation with a family member who had turned to behaving emotionally and verbally abusively. And in the end was threatening violence, which is a prelude to that turning to more physical abuse. It wasn't the first time. It more and more I was getting threats of violence in this person, so But yeah, they can't. Government housing programs are so terribly underfunded that I can't realistically get those before I run out of savings and end up on the street, almost dead. Because with long COVID, my body's much less able to respond to physical stress. So whereas some people could survive that way, I cannot. It will kill me. And indirectly, that will be the shittiness of politicians who do not do what ordinary Americans want. Ordinary Americans want welfare systems to be decently funded. Politicians don't want to fund them decently because they want to put all the money into the military because their donors own lots of stock in the defense industry. I mean, billionaires have most of their wealth is in the stock market or other investments. Corporate bonds, stocks, they benefit from military spending because defense industries are some of the most profitable industries around. That's what the billionaires have their money in very often, is stocks and defense companies that will benefit hugely from increased military spending. And this money isn't being spent to strengthen the military at maximum cost effectiveness. It's being spent in ways to maximize the profit of defense contractors. And if there's a military gets stronger, that's almost a side benefit, being justified by the fact the U.S. empire is in decline and needs a stronger military. But again, the funding is not being spent in a way that's cost-effectively strengthening it. Not really about strengthening the military. Politicians don't care if the global empire collapses, after they're dead and gone. They just want to get rich while they're alive. And, well, empires are not a good thing, so self-destructiveness of a system like this is one of the silver linings to empires, that it eventually eats itself. As an empire, the U.S. doesn't directly have colonies around the world. Instead, we control the politics and economies of many, many, many countries. If some country dares to say what a government that's too left-wing for our taste, we go and we do coups and stuff. It's nasty, it's vicious. And so this game inspired by cleaning up the aftermath of those kind of things. Invasions, coups. And why else do you think there are insurgencies here? And coalition troops. There's a lot of obvious signs that's what's going on. Why is this inflation not going down quicker? It's pretty high. Let's go to the pyramid office. It has something to do with how little intel I have. Maybe. Demand for electricity there. Infrastructure discussions. And electricity. One. Strategic communications. Alright, so right about where I'd want it is the smuggler. Boom. With that. Now. Take that area without fear of aggravating people. and get over there. Insurgents capture zone. Can't let it go too much higher. Vicious smuggler. Oh, casual. It's not that bad. Alright, this money. Just slightly increase inflation. Get some new money. Those aren't winning fast enough. And I got some red areas to mop up. Intel and Ecolima. I know decisions took over the zone. I had to let them go somewhere. Deprived them of other red zones, so whatever. You can have a corner of the map where they're harmless. Most harmless. Isn't that in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy what humans are rated as a species? Mostly harmless? Can't remember. I seem to remember it being though. Case. Yeah, specialist depot. Good thing that surgeons didn't capture that. Can still roll stuff out even with that intel, thankfully. Alright. Start doing some anti-corruption. Corruption's too high. Money. Money, money, money. Huh. I don't even have intel in all the green zones. That's funny. Prisoner forms, full form. Alright, but to procurement. Do national soldiers. I can't have corruption shooting up. Huh, instantaneous training. Thanks to kind of the corners earlier. And this guy's there for intel. National soldiers won't antagonize anyone, so boom. Oh, and casual. Never be that fast. Roll area. And maintain intel there. Entering to money. Little intel. Militia. Alright, decryption's a problem. Temporary crackdown. In a moment. It'll get worse and worse. Temporary crackdown. Oh, the ripper loss due to corruption. Surprise attack. Remember the campus. I should poke around. Maybe I'll find it. Museum. Isn't too expensive. Corruption is out of control, so another corruption team. Considerable lack of telecoms, really? Fine, get your telecoms. These guys stop antagonizing the locals. Right. Assistance. Ah, some stupid kind of jumping. That wasn't a tech. I don't know where it went. I think it was a jumping spider. I don't know, there's all kinds of insects in the world. I don't know what they all are. Surgeons there. Must be a camp around there. I maintained intel there well enough to get maternity clinics, but I fear find from whence these guys are coming. Probably past time for drones too. reason. This is almost done, and I have no intel here. That wasn't where that came from. Or was it? More national soldiers, which means more money. Oh, there's the camp. There's the bloody camp. It's past time for regional census, given intel problems in this map. No, no. Demand for TV and media soars. The number of people watching TV is growing rapidly. The number of commercial networks have been set up. TVs. Well, I mean, it's a hot area. Imagine people want to be outside. I could get rep. But I'm doing okay for reputation right now. Money will serve me better, I think, because they'll tax them. Also, less corruption from it. Which corruption will leads me more rep in the long run, anyways. I don't know. Okay, combat tactics and the money. Who's gonna go there? Well, the troops there to fight them when these guys cut them off. Yeah, there's a famous, not exactly saying, whoa, there's the bloody shear. There's, so it's kind of channeling before us. There's the, anyway, bloody something. We in 2 reference threaten versions now. Down from 3. Creation. Expansion. This rolls out fast. Smoker was afraid of corruption though. Actually, corruption's enough problem now. To purge just to hit the rep boss. More names and shames people he's just working with. Well, I guess he has all their names. Desktop apprenticeships on the rise. Can afford to have to keep doing more corruption purges, so I should probably try and control the rise of corruption a little more now. Sensors, because I won't add to it. No. New park. Barrel increases support. Raise corruption. Not gonna happen. The smuggler knows there's ways for people to steal money from any government contract. Funding only. Cherries. These guys are helping roll stuff out, otherwise it's sent back quicker. Something here, now there's all these guys going out. Especially with all the troops pulling out and have their military precautions. This goes as long as possible. I'll just roll some stuff out. Oop. Nice to be able to instantly roll out national troops. Some garrisons. It's the thing that deploy garrisons doesn't raise corruption. Event. Geocrisis, prepare land. At this point I can afford the corruption. Yeah, my reinforcements. Stabilize these areas so I don't get camps spawning up there. Script police recruitment. It's a little too slow with actually spawning the various things that just one rep from threat. Increase expansion. To increasing insurgent threat. More children attending school. Stuff up quicker up there. Airstrikes just where that can't make the surgeons lots of pain. So arms, so you have a higher chance to get an Exodus funds event. I'd actually like to fund charity to stabilize stuff faster. Ah, apologies. Honesty is the best policy. All I need to do is, well, once for precision munitions, so I don't have to get that thing up again. With the achievement, I need to not doing cover-ups. Been off the Foreign Relations Office all this time. Last time I do universal justice, Jahaba as a smuggler. You should in theory. Alright. So off the older arms, time for some upgrade to newer ones. That fight's actually going poorly. Garrison. Easier to corner these guys in. To travel logistics. It's just enough edge of these troops and has a bonus of speed. Actually, I have everything stabilized, so I guess I should fund the military and get the vent soon enough. Pressure on the rival. Alright, I'm being... So at this point, I'm at best running up the score. Worst risking losing. Place is thriving. Democratic transition. At least the illusion of democracy. It's far too often. It's called democracy is billionaires controlling everything. That'd be particularly on the nose if I was playing as the billionaire governor. Subsidies for the win. At this point, let's just do the stupid peace talk. I should have done it ages ago. Surgeons banned. Surgeons apologize. More pressure on the rival. Prison all insurgent leaders. Requisitions. Insurgents handed all weapons. International forces remain indefinitely. Alright. That's fun. Peace deal. And this. Boom. Oh. That wasn't the end of it? That would be the end. I guess there's still one more map. Well. At least I have a huge chunk of money and such to pass on. Whoopsie daisy. Wasted some funds not realizing there would be one more map. Huh. Mass media campaign. It's guaranteeing the next map can't last long enough. So I got the media campaign and the mass media campaign. Guarantee it can last long enough to get all those different zones, but yeah, that was dumb. It took way too long, not realizing I would have to do the last zone. It's been too long since I did a campaign. So there are some of you laughing at me, but whatever. That's the end of this video. I wish you all the best, folks. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May always find a getting started leading home. Guess I'll pick this one up when I'm fresh. Later. I do.